So now that we have some divisional games out of the way and the Lions have solidified themselves as the Kings of the North and the NFC North champs and held the belt continue to hold the belt, I just got one thing to say before we begin. Houston, Texas, acknowledge your reigning, defending, undisputed NFC North heavyweight champions of the world, the brand new Detroit Lions. Detroit has another battle this week on Sunday Night Football in primetime as we head down to the great state of Texas to take on the mighty Texans out of Houston. And, of course, this is Detroit's second game in Texas this year and their last one, depending on playoffs, of course. So Detroit looking to go for a little old Texas sweep out in the great state of Texas. So this won't be Detroit's first rodeo in the great state of Texas. Okay, enough with the Texas jokes. Let's get on to the football games, shall we? And before we begin, I'll just say one thing now in terms of the presidential election as just a quick politics plug-in. Just skip ahead if you don't want to hear it. I don't really care if you're Republican or Democrat. If you're Republican, I'll still love you. If you're Democratic, I'll still love you. But if you're a Bears, Packers, or Vikings fan, then fuck you. Okay, with that quick political tirade out of the way, back to football. So, of course, for this game, Detroit, they are currently the favorites for this game as the line has Detroit favored by 3.5 points. So, expecting a close game. Still 3.5 points, that's pretty reasonable. However, though, Houston, they lead the all-time series against Detroit 4-1. The one and only time Detroit has ever beaten the Texans was in 2004. However, Detroit has never beaten the Texans in Houston. In fact, the last time Detroit won in Houston was all the way back in 1995, when the Tennessee Titans were still the Houston Oilers. Oof, yeah, that other Houston team that became the Titans, and now the Texans fans hate the Titans. So, of course, Detroit so far this year, they're undefeated on the road, 4-0 on the road, while Houston, on the other hand, is 4-0 at home this year. Well, somebody's undefeated run is ending Sunday night. And here's hoping that it's Texans homestand that is the one that ends. And Detroit gives Houston their first home loss of the season. So let's take a look at some of the key players on the Texans roster. So, of course, at quarterback, of course, is the man, one of the people responsible for turning the Texans around from being a complete shit pile that was left to ruins by Bill O'Brien's butt chin to now making Houston a pretty respectable team. And, of course, that is, of course, the Stroud at quarterback. The Stroud, C.J. Stroud. And, of course, running back, you got Joe Mixon taking the ball at running back. Now, the receiving core has been banged up for the Texans, as, of course, Stephon Diggs, he's on the IR for the rest of the season after he tore his ACL. That's a big blow to the Texans, because Stephon Diggs is a pretty good player, and he always has played well against the Lions, whether he was with the Vikings or the fucking Bills. So that's a big blow for the Texans offense there. Now, Nico Collins, he entered this week on the IR with a hamstring injury, but he is eligible to be cut to return off IR. And I believe he's supposed to be playing this week, so I have him listed on the sheet for injuries as questionable, even though he's still on the IR, but he is eligible to return this week. And a lot of signs have pointed to him playing, so I think Nico Collins is going to play in this game. Outside that, though, you still got Tank Dell for the receiving core, and you got Dalton Schultz at tight end. Now, in terms of the defense, the D-line, well, Will Anderson, the big pass rusher, that has also been another big piece in turning Houston around to being a respectable team. Honestly, I'll just say this, I have no ill will toward the Texans. I like what they're fucking building there. Will Anderson, he's questionable for this game with an ankle injury. That would be a massive blow if Will Anderson can't play Sunday night, but I think he'll play through it and play. But they got other people on that D-line. You got Denico Autry, you got Foley Fatukasi. That last name's a bit of a tongue twister, I know. And, of course, you got Danielle Hunter, the former Viking. Now, the linebacking core is a bit banged up because Azeez Al-Shahir, he's questionable for this game with a knee injury. That would be a bit of a blow to the defense if he can't play. And, of course, they'll be without Christian Harris, who's on the IR with a right calf injury. But, of course, they do got Henry To'oTo'o. Now in terms of secondary, Jeff Okuda, the former Lion, yeah, that bust. Well, he was on the IR this week with a right hip injury, but he is eligible to come off this week. So it's very tough to say if he can play or not. Like, I imagine he probably will want to play this week because it's his old team. And he never got a chance to play against the Lions last year with the Falcons because he was banged up. But yeah, that just seems to be a theme of Jeff Okuda's career. Just can't seem to stay healthy and stay on the field. Just always banged up, and whenever he does, he's just been pretty inconsistent. And oh yeah, the next draft class I'll be revisiting is the 2021 with Jeff Okuda in that draft class. Take a wild guess at what Jeff Okuda's grade's gonna be. Here's a hint. It definitely won't be a hit, that's for damn sure. And of course, Jimmy Ward at safety, he's questionable for this game with a groin injury. But they do have some other pieces in the secondary. You know, you got Jalen P3, and of course you got Derek Stingley, their third overall pick from a couple years ago. So they got some talent still in that defense. Of course, the head coach of the squad is DeMeco Ryans. I have a lot of respect for DeMeco. I'll be perfectly honest. If Dan Campbell couldn't have won Coach of the Year last year, I honestly wanted it to be DeMeco Ryan. Because DeMeco Ryan really, when it looked like he was in a pretty bad situation last year in Houston, he really turned the Texans around. Not only got him to the playoffs and got him the AFC South title, but also got him a playoff win at home against the Browns. See, honestly, I feel like DeMeco Ryan should have been fucking Coach of the Year last year, not fucking Kevin Stefanski again. And of course, the offensive coordinator is Bobby Slowick, and then the defensive coordinator is Matt Burke. In terms of the Texans' offense and defense rankings, their offense is currently ranked 10th. They're 13th in the pass game, and they're 11th in the run game. And their defense, it's the third-ranked defense in the league in terms of yards allowed, as they're third against the pass, but there's a kink in that defense as they're 12th against the run. So they've had some issues stopping the run. And of course, as we all know, the other day, the Lions beefed up on the secondary, on the D-line to get an edge rusher to get some pass rushing back, which is going to be very key in the keys to winning this game. As, of course, on the Lions, of course, the other day acquired Cedarius Smith from the Cleveland Browns in exchange for a fifth and a sixth round pick, a fifth in 2025, and a sixth in 2026. And the Lions also get a seventh round pick back in exchange for 2025. So I think the Lions have like 2 seventh rounders now. Damn. But yeah, in terms of keys to winning this game, obviously, again, some pressure to C.J. Stroud. You know, hopefully Cedarius Smith can come in and make a big impact right off the bat. You know, because I think containing C.J. Stroud's going to be very crucial to this game. Because we've seen how good Stroud has been so far in his rookie season. Easily had like the best rookie season by a quarterback in like NFL's recent memory. Like, he was even getting MVP votes last year, for Christ's sakes. That's how good he was. But yeah, of course, containing him is going to be crucial, and trying to get some pressure to him, stopping the run is going to be crucial. You know, trying to shut down Nico Collins and Tank Dell is going to be a bit of a tall task, too. And, of course, in terms of the offense, you know, establishing the run, just keep feeding the ball to Sonic Jameer Gibbs and Knuckles David Montgomery Burns. That's going to be very crucial. And, of course, Goff just needs to keep playing the efficient ball he's been playing the last month or so at the now MVP level he's been playing at. Says, yeah, Jared Goff is now playing at an MVP level. Damn, never thought you ever say that about a Detroit Lions QB ever. But it's 2024. It's a very weird time. Some weird times indeed. But yeah, you know, a lot of things are favoring the Lions this week. You know, a lot of people could say it's a trap game because the Lions have never beaten the Texans in Houston. And the last time the Lions won in the city of Houston was back when the Titans were still in Houston as the Oilers. And of course, you know, Houston, they're trying to bounce back after having that bad loss last Thursday night against the Jets. And I should also mention the Texans are going to be wearing their all-red uniforms for this game with that red chrome color helmet. And I'll be honest, I do like those Texans red uniforms. That is a pretty cool color design. I can't wait to see it in the game Sunday night. So yeah, that's pretty cool that we're going to see that design. And see Houston's equivalent of the Raspberries, I guess. I mean, I think already equals raspberries, I guess. So I guess we're going to see the Houston Raspberries Sunday night. Most likely against the Detroit Marshmallows. Unless the Detroit wants to wear the blueberries, though. And some choices indeed. And no to the Blackberries. The Blackberries are off limits until we face the Packers in December on Thursday Night Football. Now, Blackberries are off limits. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see which combo the Lions can go, because they could wear either combo Sunday night, with Houston wearing all red. But I imagine Detroit's probably going to wear the marshmallows again and go the all white. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty big game. You know, Houston needs this win. Detroit trying to keep the good times rolling. You know, trying to keep pace at the top of the NFC. You know, Houston's trying to get back on track in the AFC. You know, trying to get back up in the standings. Since right now the AFC is looking like a three-man race between Baltimore, Buffalo, and Kansas City. And so everyone's trying to jockey to catch up to the Chiefs, who are still 8-0. So yeah, both teams need this game, but some's got to give. Only one can win this game. It's going to be an interesting game to see how Detroit matches up against the Texans. And can Detroit finally conquer their demons and beat the Texans finally? For the first time in 20 years. I mean, Detroit has had a good job of conquering their demons so far. They finally beat the Seahawks this year. They beat the Cowboys earlier this year. They finally won a regular season game against the Titans. Could ending their misery against the Texans finally be on the menu? Tune in Sunday night to find out. In terms of this game, I think Detroit can pull this off. I think Detroit has just on a massive run. And I think Houston's going to see that Detroit's going to be a little too much to handle for the Texans. I think Detroit can contain Stroud and win in a ball game. And I think Goff's going to keep playing good ball. And I think that run game's going to continue to pound the ball down Houston. So, yeah, in terms of the score for this game, I think Detroit's going to win this game. I have Detroit winning 27-23. I think it's going to be a decently high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a shootout. But I have Detroit winning this game by 4. I think it's going to be a good game. I have no ill will toward the Texans. I like what they're building down in Houston. The only Texans fan I know on here is loyal to Houston, so shout out to him. You know, going to be a good game. This game is going to be cinema Sunday night. You know, Lions back on Sunday night, and NBC won't regret it. You're all in for a treat this Sunday night. All I say to Houston is good luck Sunday. May the best team win. Anyway, let's go get this W. Let's go to 8-1, and let's continue to roll and get the trains ready for Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. But before we can focus on that, we got to take care of business Sunday night down in Houston. And also Sunday in Houston, the Pistons are also playing the Rockets Sunday in Houston as well. So we got a bit of a Detroit-Houston double feature as well. Although the Pistons are probably going to lose to the Rockets. But stranger shit has happened. You know, any given night in the NBA, any good team can have a bad day. I mean, for fuck's sakes, the Pistons knocked off the Lakers the other night and with bitch James. So, hey, anything's possible. But anyway, let's go get this win Sunday. Let's go beat the Texans, get the 8-1. That's all I got to say. Hope everyone has a great day. I'm out. And go Lions.